Hi, I'm Shauna Lei, and this is Selling the Hawaiian Way. Oftentimes, my clients ask me, why is title insurance so expensive? So today, I sat down with Mr. Title himself, Yossi, so that he could break down everything that goes into the price and we can better understand it. I always have clients who say, why in the world is title so expensive? But if you break it down, it's really not that much. So what are some of the other figures and numbers that they're looking at that is on maybe the title bill that confuses people?
So it's interesting you ask that because that comes up all the time. I get calls from clients, from end users.
You get calls, I get calls,
right.
we get calls.
I get calls. I have a lot of friends who buy property and they'll call me to insure it, and they will want me to go through every detail on the bill. And what most people don't realize is the premium on the bill, often, especially on a residential purchase, is the smallest or one of the smallest fees.
What else is included?
So we, as the title company, are responsible for collecting the fees for mortgage tax, transfer taxes, mansion taxes.
These are the big money tickets.
Escrows, real estate taxes that are due. So what ends up happening is, say you're selling your condo to me, and I'm buying it. There's going to be a lot of taxes back and forth that you had paid, that you have to get reimbursed for, and I might have to pay
the mansion tax.
Anything over $1 million in New York, you're required to pay a mansion tax, which is the minimum. It starts at $10,000. It's 1%, and it's a sliding scale going up.
That's right, because they changed that.
Right. So that's an expense. So on a $1 million purchase, your title bill may be $35,000, $40,000, but the premium would only be about $4,000, give or take.
And what is that line item called?
The line item for the...
Yeah, when they look at, obviously everybody just goes immediately to the bottom, kind of like a check at a restaurant.
If you look at a title bill, everything is broken down. We're required to break it down. We're governed by the DFS, the Department of Financial Services. We are a registered insurance company. It will say loan policy, owner policy, and that's your premium. That's what you're paying to the title insurance company. Just about all of the other figures on the bill are flow through. We collect them and we have to pay them. If anything, we're taking them and then taking the responsibility of paying them out. Mortgage tax, mansion tax, transfer taxes alone can be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a $1 million purchase. But most clients, like you said, don't look at the line items. They're looking at that final number.
One number at the bottom, and then their eyes go, oh my God.
And what they're not realizing is they're paying it all to the municipalities, the state, the city, and we're just collecting it on their behalf.
So that's really interesting to know, because people don't really pay attention to that. They just look at that one number at the bottom. They don't know that you basically work as like a flow-through entity.
Right. Not only do we work as a flow-through entity, we're the ones responsible as part of the title policy to make sure the taxes are paid, the transfer taxes, because those would be a lien against your property or could affect your property if they're not paid. So you want to have a company that you can trust and who can, is going to make those payments. And move forward, and that's part of dealing with a reputable company.
And how do they know whether or not a company is reputable?
I think a lot of it is relationship. Companies being around for a while. Obviously, if you've been around for a while and you have
like, how long have you been in title?
So I think we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. I joined the company afterwards.
Nice! Congratulations.
Maybe even further than that.
But you're also a lawyer too, right?
I'm an attorney as well. So for my clients, it's kind of nice because they get to use my legal skills as well as my title skills. So I give them a little bit of a bump in what they need. They can call up. They have questions. I like to think of myself as a full service company where I can provide all of the assistance they need.
Whatever it is they need.
Yes, true. Whatever it is they need.
Between the two of us, they got everything they need.
They ask for a lot of stuff. Some things that have nothing to do with us.
That's
but at the same time, we're in a customer service business and we like to keep our customers happy. Also, another interesting thing about title premiums, since that's something we're discussing, is in the state of New York, premiums are regulated by the state. So regardless of where you go, the actual premium, that line item for the premium is the same with every single title company. To the penny, it should be the same. And everything else, the ancillary charges and the taxes, that's what really fluctuates. But again, those are all the items on a title bill are generally very straightforward. There's always going to be fees for searches and things that the parties ask for additional searches, and there are charges for that, but it's all explained. And any client who calls us, I'm happy to go through a bill with them and explain exactly what each line item and fee is.
So what are some other examples of what could possibly go wrong? Because I think earlier you had told me there was like 60 or 70 things that could go wrong, but like if you could just share a couple of them.
So let me think. Some of the issues, fraud is a big part of what can go wrong. If somebody records a fraudulent deed or fraudulent mortgage, or even show up to closings. We've had a husband and wife show up where it wasn't necessarily the wife.
Oh.
And the husband would show up with someone else, or the wife would show up with someone else, the other way around.
Now this is getting interesting.
And we've had them sign deeds that they're selling their property as husband and wife. They'd come in with a fake ID, sell a $3 million apartment, walk away with a check, and all of a sudden the wife will show up and say, hey, I never sold this property. Or the husband would show up and say, and that's fraud. And
this is
obviously,
next level Tinder swindler.
Yes, there's a lot of that goes on. There are people who don't pay taxes.
So how do you guys catch that though? How do you catch somebody who comes
I'll
in
be surprised.
and they're supposed to sign?
We'll compare signatures. We're detectives on some level.
Yeah.
Like we have to look at the records, and I've seen documents where I've looked at 20 documents and one signature's off, and we go, wait, something's not right here. And we'll start looking at it. I know early on in my career, we used to use the lick test, which you don't probably do today because of COVID.
Wait.
Where we would actually lick our finger and kind of smudge the document to make sure it's a real signature, not a photocopy signature. We've done that many times.
Interesting. Where the ink isn't dry yet.
Even when the ink is dry, believe it or not, if
smudges?
you lick your finger, it'll smudge. But if it's a photocopy, it won't. And we've gotten documents sent to us that are supposedly original with black signatures, and we realize that they're not original documents.
Never in person? It's in person though, right? They have to sign it in person.
Right, but a lot of documents at pre-sent will get forged power of attorneys.
Oh.
That's another problem. So if somebody buys with a power of attorney, which is quite often, especially these days with COVID, there's a lot of power of attorneys being used.
We do a lot of those.
People don't want to show up, and if you get a forged power of attorney, your whole transaction now can be subject to that fraud. So we are responsible on some sense. We have to call, we have to verify the power of attorney, the person who gave the power of attorney.
Yeah.
We will call them on the phone. We've had some celebrity closings where they've given power of attorneys, and we've had to call the celebrity on the phone and literally say, hey, are you alive? Did you give this power of attorney?
Interesting. Okay, but hypothetically, what happens if the fraudster gets away with the signing and everything and the transfer of the property happens? Then what is the worst case scenario?
For the purchaser?
Yeah, for
the title insurance company.
I mean,
if it's
for anyone that has a high,
if it's a true
risk.
fraud, if it is a true fraud, we would have to defend it. We would probably have to pay them. If one of the parties is aware of the fraud, we would probably go after that purchaser. The insurance company or the underwriter would go after them, depending on the value and what it's worth. Sometimes it's not worth the legal fees, and we just pay it out.
Right.
But ultimately, if we miss something or there's a fraud involved and it's something that is insured under the policy and it's a technical policy, there's a lot of exceptions to the policy. But again, if we miss something as a title insurance company, then we are responsible, and we would have to pay that out.
I think the moral of the story here is, number one, title isn't that expensive, and that it includes more than just what people see as their bottom line item. 100%. And two, it's the insurance policy that really protects them from probably spending significantly more money down in the future, right?
Yes, 100%. And there's more than just people coming in to say they own the property. There are cases in which people will say, your backyard is my backyard, or I can use your driveway, or there's so many different variations that come up. And we have to kind of point that out. And if we miss that, if we miss the shared driveway on a property, we're gonna have to pay whatever that claim might be, that the value of that driveway that the owner thought they were getting ends up being. So there's different weird scenarios, and we quarterback the transaction. At the end of the day, we deal with the buyer's attorney, the seller's attorney, the bank's attorney, everybody else in order to kind of make the closing come together, record the documents, and issue a policy which kind of allows everybody to move forward. So it's an integral part of the closing. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't understand it, and they might not have to, as long as...
Until today.
Yes, hopefully they'll understand more of it. People do Google it and look it up, but it's definitely a necessary policy, no different than your homeowner's insurance or your car insurance or life insurance. And luckily, it's a one-time purchase. You never have to buy it again. You buy it once, and it's there for the remainder of your ownership. So in a nutshell, it's not that bad, and it really helps you get that feeling of comfort when you do buy a property and you're issued a policy, and you can go home and sleep at night knowing this is your house, and short of casualty and other issues that can come up, nobody's going to come in and say it's theirs, and if they do, somebody will protect you.
Right, just in case some jack comes knocking on your door saying,
exactly,
this is my property, then you can call up Yossi and say, there's a jack on your...
Hopefully I don't get that call because...
on your property.
We do it correctly, but yes, that is
awesome.
a big part of it.
Well, thank you so much. This was so informative.
My pleasure.
I hope that you guys found this to be helpful. And until next time, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to Yossi. Yossi is amazing. We've been working with him for so long, and them and all of your workers.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you.
They're like absolutely amazing. So hopefully you guys were able to learn quite a bit more than you thought you were going to learn today, and then realize that title insurance isn't exactly as expensive as you thought that it would be. So until next time, guys, thank you so much, and mahalo.
Mahalo.